Hello everyone, Craft with Barbara Drake here, and today we're going to make a very easy card using a layout that you can use for any of your pattern papers to make some quick cards. The DSP that I'm going to be using is the Fitting Florets. You get 12 sheets in here and you get 6 different designs, 2 of each, and the one I'm going to be working with today is this one here. So that's the front, that's the front, the other was the back. You can see I've cut a bunch of mine up. And you have this, you have soft succulent. The colors are on the back, I can name those. And you have a balmy blue, and this floral one. Evening evergreen was the one I was trying to think of. Actually, this may look black on the camera, this plaid, but it's evening evergreen. This is a really pretty floral one with the navy blue. I believe that's navy. I don't know, it doesn't look navy up next to that. Maybe it's evening evergreen. Yeah, it might be. And then this is the soft succulent. Again, maybe I had that one. Yeah, I had a small piece. And then this one here with Blushing Bride. And on the back of the DSP, on the cardboard that comes with it, it always tells you the coordinating colors here, which are Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Evening Evergreen, Night and Navy, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. And what I do when I get pattern paper like that, I go into Word and I make a document here, and I just put the heading up above, and I put all the coordinating colors there, and then I cut out each one of those with a 1-inch circle. And then these pieces, I believe, are 1.5 by 3. Yeah, 1.5 by 3. And then that way it's easy, you know, at a glance you can see what the front and the back looks like instead of having to take out each piece of paper to see which one you want to use. So the stamp set I'm going to use, I'm just using the Sentiment for a special person on a special day, the framed florets. And it comes, well, as a bundle if you get the dies. You get 13 dies there. And this frame here and even these two here are beautiful, using silver or gold cardstock and even glitter cardstock. I've seen some cards made with that, are very beautiful. But today I'm just going to use the Sentiment out of that. This is a photopolymer set. And for the die I'm using the one here, it's the 4th one down of the Stylish Shapes. And this is in the annual catalog. These stitched dies, really pretty. And for the pattern, or for the measurements, what we're going to use, A2 size card. Let me bring this down just a little bit. Here we go. Sorry if it's shaking. For A2, 8.5 by 5.5, and you can score it at 4 1/4. You have 2 strips of cardstock. I used it to match the base. And these are Night and Navy. These are 3/8 of an inch by 5.5. But you're going to end up cutting these down just a little bit. But you want to make them just about that size there, 5.5 inches long. The this white, basic white, is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be for the inside of the card. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 balmy blue, and it's going to go as a layer, the first layer there. The this was the 2 1/8 inch die cut circle that I'm going to use for the Sentiment, and these are 2 by 4, and I'm going to have a little layer underneath them, and these are 2 1/8 by 4 1/8, and it's going to go on there like that. Now when you're cutting your pattern paper, you're going to want to be careful, especially on the ones that had a lot of floral on them. When you go to tape them on, or when you go to lay them on, you're going to want to really make sure that the pattern is going the correct direction. So with that said, I'll show you how fast and easy this. I don't want to go too fast because I don't want to make a mistake. But you can score. I usually like to just butt the two corners up against it and just give it a fold, and then you can take your bone folder. Sometimes your bone folder can make some marks on there, and if that's the case, you can just put a scrap piece of paper over it like that and go over it to prevent any of those lines to get on there. And then I'm going to use liquid glue today. This is going to be the first layer. Again, that was 4 and 5 1/4. And like I said, this layout can be used for any of your pattern papers. And just like these pieces here, you don't have to do the opposite side. I mean, you could keep them both the same if you wanted. But in this card, I'm going to go ahead and use the back. And this gives it just a slight little border around the edge. And again, you don't even have to use basic white as a layer. If you wanted to use another color, you know, if you wanted to use the polished pink, but then I don't know how the polished pink would look, you know, against polished pink there. The liquid glue does give you a little bit of wiggle room. Now, I didn't do any type of measuring when I put this on here, and it's going to go on like this. I'm going to have this one here on the left on top of it like that. So you just kind of want to make sure that you're getting these two sides somewhat even, and same at the top and the bottom here on these two. And if you wanted to overlap it like that, put the one here on the right on top first. You know, you just choose whichever one goes on the top, you're going to put the opposite one down first. So we use some more liquid glue. That way you can try to even it up as much as possible. I've made several of these so far. And what you can do, if you want to make a mass production of them, get all your pieces cut out. And even when you do your die cut, you don't have to put a sentiment on it right away. You know, put it in with your card, and then when you need the card for whatever occasion you're celebrating, then you can go ahead and stamp it and put it on. So it's nice to have cards made up ahead of time. At least the majority of the card, and all you have to do is put the sentiment on. And again, pay attention to your pattern, that it's going in the correct direction. Like this one here, they're all going down. I probably should have flipped it around. But I don't think anybody's going to say, oh my, those are going in the wrong direction. But then again, you might. Okay, now the strips. And I didn't do any measurements here. Like I wasn't saying, oh, that's 2 inches from here to there. I was just putting them on here. And that's why it's good to have them overlapping a little bit, because we're going to go ahead and cut those off. So when you go to glue it, you don't want to glue from all the way to the end. You want to leave just a little bit of space. So that way your scissors aren't touching it. make sure my card's open. Always make sure your card is opening in the right direction. It's happened to me more than once, unfortunately. And then here I leave about 1/4 of an inch between them. And again, these strips are 3/8 of an inch wide. And I made them by 5.5. There we go. Now I take my scissors I designate, especially just for any type of, anything that might have glue on them. Actually, it's easier to flip it around. See, you can see the glue there. It's kind of hard to see with this navy blue. And this side is a little bit harder to cut, only because you have the folded edge here. It makes it a little bulky. Just try to get in there as close as you can without cutting the card. So we got that much done, and then it's ready for the sentiment. And I'm going to use Night of Navy ink. Goodness, I'm looking. I hope I'm not out of range on a lot of that. Where's my scrap paper? Here we go. Make sure I get that a little straight here. Because if you mess up on your stitch circle, the best thing to do is to go ahead and stamp first, so you know you have it right, then do your die cutting. Because you can't flip these over because of the stitching. That looks pretty good. And it's going to go on there like that. Now you could, if you had a small design of some sort, like a flower. I don't think this flower will fit on there. This little one right here. Let's take a peek at it. If it'll fit on there. No, I don't see how it can, but you may have another a stamp set. Go through them and see if you have something small. I'm going to lose that now. And, you know, as a design, I might put a, what do you call it? And I may put one of these gems on the back, but I'm just going to raise this up with some dimensionals here. And then I'll check those iridescent rhinestones out. Like again, you know, put any type of a sentiment on here that you want. And these are the iridescent rhinestones. These are in the annual catalog. Get your pokey tool out. Yeah, I think I can put one there. Here, I could probably put some more on there, but then I'd have to put 2 to make 5, but I'll go ahead and leave it. But at least you get the gist of how easy this layout can be with any of your pattern papers. And then your 4 by 5 1/4 will go here on the inside like that. So very, very simple layout. And I hope to be making some more of fast cards as far as, you know, an easy sketch layout goes. So I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day. Until next time, bye.